Hi, my name is Megan with Colorful Megan, and welcome to my messy art studio. I want to share about a brand I recently partnered with called Top Drawer. They were kind enough to send me these watercolors and we're going to swatch them today. So we'll use this watercolor set, and the details about it are in the description. So if you like it and you want it, the exact product info in the description. If you like what you see in this video and you want to order from them, use my code and get yourself a little discount. I'm also going to use their travel watercolor brush, which is so cool. So it looks like this. It's a size 6 brush. You can take it apart and it becomes a full-size brush. How cool is that? So anyway, then you can put it back together for travel, and there you go. So I'm gonna use this. I just dropped it, but it's fine. I'm gonna use this, the watercolors, and let's see what they look like. So I'm starting with the watercolor box, and I also need a pencil, a ruler, and a piece of watercolor paper, because the first thing we're going to do is make a page to do our swatch card. So I'm measuring the inside of the box. First of all, though, look at those colors. They're beautiful. I love how bright and cheery and springy they are. So anyway, okay, so we're measuring the inside of the box, and I'm going to mark it here on the watercolor paper. And then we'll cut it down to size so that it nestles right in the top of the box, so it'll always be visible when I open this box and I go to use these paints to paint something. I'll be able to see exactly what the colors look like on watercolor paper, and that's so valuable when you're painting, especially with watercolors. A lot of the times the darker colors look very similar to each other in the pans. So a dark green could look the same as a dark blue or a dark purple in the pan. So it's really useful to have a swatch card to see exactly what the colors are, so you don't accidentally use green when you mean to use blue. So now I'm just cutting it down to size with this paper cutter, so that I can make sure it's a super straight line and perfectly sized for the top of the box. And then I just need to trim this other side too, and I'll be ready to do the grid, which I'll draw on with a pen. So that's done. I'm gonna clean up after myself, and now I'm ready to draw the grid. So one thing that's really handy about these watercolors is that on each pan, on the back of the pan, which I didn't show here, but the back of the pan has the name of the color on it. And then you can also see the name of the color on the bottom of the box. You can kind of see it in this shot here, but you'll be able to see it better in a second. So you can see the name of the color printed on the bottom of each box as I take out the individual pans. So what I'm doing here is I'm just using the pans to create my grid. You could measure it, and that would be fine too, but I'm just using kind of like eyeballing with the pans because I'm not really worried about this being the most precise, perfect grid. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, like I said. So connecting those lines here to do the 3 across the bottom, and then we'll rotate the page and do the same thing and do 4 across that way so that we can have 12 grid spaces on the page. So again, just taking the watercolors, the pans, and just kind of lining them up, and I'll make a little notch mark in between each one here to make our grid. Like I said, you could measure it and it could be perfect, but I'm not really worried about all that. So just gonna finish this up. I like to do the middle line first, and then I'll do the lines on the outside, and we'll be done with this part. And we'll get to label all of the rectangles. So there we go. Perfect, right? Sort of. So when I was labeling, the camera was really blurry. It didn't focus right, so I didn't spend a lot of time on that. But it was handy to have the name of the color in the bottom of the box here. So I just labeled all of the sections of my rectangles, there you go, with the name of the color using a fine liner pen, and put all of the pans back where they go in the watercolor set. I believe you're supposed to use this set more vertically, but for me, making a swatch card, using it in the horizontal direction makes it a little bit easier to do the wash on the swatch card. So that's why I've got it rotated that way, in case you were wondering. And when you use watercolor, you have to activate it first by wetting the paint for like about 30 seconds before you use it. You can use a spray bottle to spray it down, or like I'm doing here, you can just use some clean water from your water cup, and then that's going to make the paint feel more activated, and it's going to be a more opaque and like juicy experience. I really like how creamy this paint feels. So here's the gray here, and then you got to clean your brush in between each one and dab it on your paper towel before you go to the next paint color. That way you don't mix your paint colors on your swatch card. You definitely don't want to do that, especially on the swatch card, because this is what's showing you what the colors look like when they're using, or when you're using it on watercolor paper. So you definitely don't want to blend colors here. So I'm just going to go through every color in this box. And again, this brand is called Top Drawer. And if you use my code ColorfulMegan20 off, you'll get a little discount, and these could make a really cool gift for an artist in your life, or maybe you just treat yourself, you know? As I go through all of these colors, I'm just thinking that this would make a perfect springy scene. What do you think I should paint with these watercolors? I just feel like all these colors working together, you've got the light blue sky, you've got the green grass, some pink and yellow flowers. I feel like I can see just like a field of flowers or a floral arrangement, or even like a balcony with a window on it and a flower box outside it. But I really like these colors. Like I said, it reminds me of spring. And when they go on the page, they feel very creamy. You can see how opaque they are too. A lot of the time watercolor doesn't feel as opaque, and I really like the bright, bold colors as opposed to kind of the lighter washes. I prefer a more opaque watercolor, and these definitely have that. So I really like that. As I'm swatching these out, I'm just like, oh, what could I paint? I feel like, you know, just something springy. You'll have to tell me, what do you think I should paint with these watercolors? Let me know in the comments, and maybe I will paint it. So again, like I said, the brand is Top Drawer. These colors are linked below. Again, use my code so you get a discount if you order these. I'm just wrapping it up here with the brown and the light pink, or the pale pink, sorry, it's called. I mean, can't you just see a springy scene? I just see it. I just see it in the colors. Just like a field of flowers with a bright blue sky, maybe like a tree with like a picnic blanket underneath it. All right, there they are. Okay, so now we just need to let it dry. So there's all our colors, and through the magic of video editing, they're going to be dried just like that. But to dry these faster for use at home, like you can use a heat tool or a hair dryer, or even just like a fan to dry them a little faster. You just want to be careful in using a hair dryer or a fan with watercolor. If it's really wet, it can blow the water, so it can like move it around in a place where you don't want it. So a heat tool would probably be best when using watercolor, or patience and time. So I just used some double-sided tape here, and I'm gonna stick this card on the inside of the box so that it's always there and visible, so I know what these colors look like on paper when I'm about to paint. So there it is. You have to let me know what you think, and let me know what you think I should paint with these colors. Thanks for watching.